Are you serious? Are you serious? They got some new technology. What? I'm so excited. Get a cup of coffee. There's some new coffee machine technology. Oh my Lord, yes, that's right. We got breaking technology. Cool beans. No, not really. Roasted beans. A new coffee machine that can roast, grind, and brew the coffee right there at your house. Hang on a second. If you're the type of coffee drinker who insists on using only the freshest beans and grinding them at home, well, there's a new coffee maker that could be up your alley. It is not only does it brew the coffee, but it roasts the raw beans for you and then grinds them up, taking out the roasteries and the other middleman out of the equation. It's true that in a coffee-loving city, let's say like Seattle or Portland, Oregon, you may be lucky enough to get the beans picked a couple months ago, shipped in, and then roasted last week, and then grind it up. But believe me, what this thing will do is unbelievable. This is a new coffee technology. Are we in the last days? Is there something biblical going on with the signs? Is Jesus coming? Well, yes, and it doesn't matter about this coffee machine, obviously. But I did find it a fascinating, fun story. Matter of fact, my wife said to me this morning, I had to get up early this morning and grind some coffee and make a fresh pot of coffee. And when Heidi comes out into the living room to get her day started, I always have a fresh cup of coffee waiting for her. And with the cream in it just the way she likes it and 2 sugars stirred up, ready for her. Okay? So this morning I got up, I had to grind some coffee, and I had it all ready. And she took a sip of the coffee. She says, "Oh, this is good. What'd you do? Go to Colombia and pick the beans?" And I said, "Yeah, I went to Colombia. I picked the beans. I rode on a donkey to Bolivia. I had them roasted, and I made my way all the way up here just for you." Well, she giggled and we laughed. But the truth is, now there's this new coffee machine. It's not on the market yet, but the new technology is ready to be launched. And so let me just show you a rendering of it. But this is the machine that will actually roast the coffee, so you can put in raw beans, roast the coffee, and then grind the coffee, and then brew the coffee, and have a fresh pot. Well, I know that might be a little overboard, but I thought it was cool. And since she asked me this morning, "Are you serious?" Well, sometimes when I look at all the different things, for instance, with the mark of the beast, let's say, obviously to have a one world government with a one world currency, a one world system, there would have to be an advancement in technology. And so the technology has to catch up with the prophecy. Same thing with the 2 witnesses. A caller called in during my show the other day and said, "Do you think it could be that the only way that the nations will see the 2 witnesses laying on the streets dead for 3.5 days and then be raised from the dead right in front of everyone, and for the whole world to see it at once? It'd have to be through satellite television, through the internet, through the technology." Exactly. Again, technology has to catch up with the prophecy. What do you do when your dog... Does anybody else got a dog that snores like that? And it's the only... I've been preaching, and I've never had anybody fall asleep during my sermons. I had one lady die, but that's different. Never has anybody fallen asleep except my dog. But anyway, back to the technologies. Again, the technologies are catching up with the prophecies. And then it reminded me of something. The comet Ison, the comet Inky, the comet Lovejoy, the solar flares on the sun, the asteroids, the meteorites, the signs in the heavens, the Hubble telescope seeing the eye of God, or the cross way into the next millenniums when they finally look through the lenses. We would never be able to see those signs in the heavens like Jesus said we would see if we didn't have the technology. So again, the technology has to catch up with the prophecy. And so what I'm trying to tell you is when John the Revelator received the visions of the Lord, or even Daniel for that matter, they were seeing an end time apocalyptic era that we're living in right now. And they seen it through the eyes of new technology. And so we today, the Bible is being fulfilled before our very eyes. So the Bible even says that all witty inventions comes from the Lord. So the Lord knows exactly what technologies we need to be able to see the prophecies. We're living in the last days. And it brought this to my mind. A coffee machine that will roast the beans, grind the beans, and brew the coffee all in one. It's a new technology, but it just shows you, just like the microchip and the RFID microchip and the implantation of it within the Obamacare bill, or maybe the citizens of the Philippines who have had microchips forced on them, or just like the iris scanning machines, all the different technologies, and now they have microchips they think they can actually plant in your brain that could actually alter commands to you. GPS, all the different technologies are actually helping us understand and see the fulfillment of the prophecies. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're truly living in the last days. We're watching, we're seeing a fulfillment of the powerful Word of God. I thought about the temple. They say now that when they get ready to build the third temple, they can actually build it in 7 months. Now, obviously, they couldn't build the original temple and Solomon's temple in 7 months. It took 7 years. But they can build the third temple they'll build in 7 months. And then I remember reading that the Ark of the Covenant, when it was stolen by the Philistines, that they finally said, okay, we're ready to return it after 7 months. And the reason they were is because of the tumors that began to grow on them and the plague that hit them. So when I look back at the Bible and I think about the technology, if it weren't for the advancement of technologies, the third temple could never be built in 7 months. But once again, the technologies are catching up with the prophecies. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're living in the last days.